What if I told you that self-confidence isn't about being the loudest person in the room? It isn't about how many compliments that you get or even how successful you feel you are in the eyes of others or even yourself. What if I told you it's about the quiet conversations that you have with yourself? It's about your reputation with yourself. Today, we're going to be digging into why self-confidence is the foundation of every self-development process and how you can actually build it in that sense. My name is Johnny Lawrence. Welcome to the Johnny Lawrence podcast. And today I'm going to talk about self-confidence because it's come up quite a lot just recently. I've been around some particularly ambitious people, clients, friends. I even attended a dinner the other week and I spoke to some very ambitious men and it was lovely. And it got me thinking about what self-confidence is and how I help people with self-confidence and how I've seen people go through it. First and foremost, it's about understanding what self-confidence is and what it isn't. If I was to define self-confidence, I would say self-confidence is the result of behaving in a way that earns you your own respect. That's what it is. Do you like yourself? Not when you look in the mirror and you make judgments of yourself. I mean, are you showing up for yourself? Or are you like that friend that always says that they're going to come and do something or they're going to help with this and then they never do? And then you always feel like you're doing more for them than they are for you. See, because the key idea of today's podcast is you can't outsource confidence. It comes from seeing yourself do hard things. It comes from keeping promises to yourself and showing up in alignment with who you think you are, who you want to be, who you believe you should be in life. You have to be fighting your own corner. So before we can grow and develop ourselves, we have to believe that we're worthy of that growth. You don't do anything unless you think it's worth it, right? In some way, whatever that measure is that you're using. And it starts with one thing, in my opinion. It starts with being able to trust ourselves, being able to rely on ourselves, knowing that we're going to show up for ourselves. And if I'm honest, that takes a bit of evidence. It takes a bit of collecting. People are going to start being overambitious about how they collect that evidence, but you don't have to be. It can be very small actions. In fact, I encourage it to be small actions because self-confidence isn't this magic thing that you can sprinkle on your life and then you find yourself confident in absolutely everything. You might look at, say, I don't know, an athlete or someone that's doing something that you really admire and you might think, wow, they're so confident, they're so amazing. I've certainly thought that about public speakers. I once delivered a talk on imposter syndrome and I was the keynote and I spent the whole day watching these other speakers talk, getting imposter syndrome, which is quite ironic really. But then I went up and I delivered and everything worked out really well and I was very happy with it all. But people think that there's this confidence that you just either have or you don't have. But I think confidence is earned. You have to build it. You have to create confidence by showing up for yourself every day and doing the small things. I don't think it's something that you can just sprinkle upon yourself. I think it's about feeling prepared. Whenever I've had talks in the past where there are things I regularly talk about and I can talk about them with confidence. In fact, my biggest challenge on that day is trying to stay within the timings that they've asked me because I could literally go anywhere with it and talk about it very passionately and very knowledgeably because that's what I'm an expert in. But if people reach out to me with specific topics and they want me to talk about it and it's not something I spoke about, there is a bit of underconfidence because I haven't done it before. But that's why I prepare for it. I really, really prepare for it and I make sure that I obsess and find all of the points where I can relate to it so that by the time I get to the stage, I'm really delivering on what I say I'm going to deliver on. So it comes down to being prepared and not thinking that the confidence is something that you can just go and get, like do a course or those things are helpful. You can get courses that help with confidence. You can listen to podcasts, read books, but that's not what's going to do it. As everything in self-development comes down to you and the relationship you have with yourself. I believe that there are a few little steps you can take. And the first one that I want to highlight and discuss is keeping the promises you make to yourself. You see, the small commitments that we make to ourselves matter. For example, you might decide for whatever reason, maybe you see a photograph of yourself and you decide that that's it, you need to lose some weight. And you're going to go to the gym and you're going to start eating healthily. First of all, I wouldn't try and do too much at once. Research is showing that we have to install small habits over time. So if you were going to do something like that, you might decide that on Monday, you're going to drink more water. And then once that's established, you're going to have a look at breakfast. And then once that's established, you're going to have a look at lunch and so on and so on. And then introduce an exercise program. And the most important part about an exercise program is establishing a habit. So maybe you start off with the walk and then you decide you're going to do a little bit more and a little bit more till you end up in the gym maybe. It goes so on and so on. It's about the most important part of that, as I just said, is keeping that commitment to yourself. The commitments that we make to ourselves matter. If you say you're going to do something tomorrow, then do it. And if you don't do it for whatever reason, you're you're really damaging that reputation you have with yourself. You're starting to prove to yourself that you're someone that can't be relied upon, and that you're somebody that doesn't come through when they say they're going to come through. And if you want to reflect on that, maybe if you decided you're going to start exercising and you usually get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, then telling yourself that not only are you going to start exercising, but you're also going to get up at 5 a.m., maybe that's a bit much. Maybe we need to make the goals more realistic. So it's about having small commitments to yourself. And when I say that, just building them up. And I mean small. You can start with little micro promises like, tomorrow I'm going to drink more water. It's really important that we drink enough water. So tomorrow I'm going to fill up a bottle or go out and buy a bottle, and I'm going to fill that bottle up, a litre or whatever, 2 litres or whatever you want to do. And I'm going to drink all of that water tomorrow. And then when you get to the end of the day and you've done it, celebrate it. Recognize it, acknowledge that you have kept that commitment, that promise that you made, you've kept it to yourself, and that means something. Maybe you're going to go on a short walk tomorrow, just 10 minutes, and that's your new exercise regime. You're going to do 10 minutes walk, and then maybe you can up it to 12 minutes and 15 minutes over time, over weeks. Or maybe you're going to start journaling, and you're just going to take the day and you're just going to write a paragraph. You're going to write 5 lines. That's it. You're not going to write a massive diary entry. You're just going to do 5 lines. And by doing that, you're starting to create the evidence that you are somebody that you can rely upon, that when you say you're going to do things, you do them. Because each time you get that win, each time you keep that promise, it's like a deposit in your confidence account. It's like a deposit in your confidence account. So imagine you have an account and you got nothing in it. Well, yeah, you're not going to feel confident. But what if you said to myself, I was going to drink some more water and I did it? I said to myself, I was going to go on short walks and I did it. I said to myself, I was going to start journaling and I did it. I said to myself, I wasn't going to drink alcohol tonight and I didn't. I didn't have the biscuit. Whatever it is that you decide, if you stick to it, it starts to create this evidence that you can do it and you're someone to be relied upon. I recently went to Kilimanjaro to climb Kilimanjaro, and when I came back, I was physically and mentally exhausted. And I got a bit low. And after a little while, I stopped training in the gym, and then I started to eat a little bit more, and then I started to chase some hedonic food. So I started eating chocolate and things like that. And I started watching a bit more TV, and slowly things started to unravel for me. And it wasn't until I stopped feeling sorry for myself and I decided that I was going to keep the promises to myself that I was making, because every day I was telling myself, I'm going to get back in the gym, I'm going to stop eating the chocolate, I'm going to stop watching so much TV, and I'm going to get back into it again. And I wasn't doing it. And it was just eroding at my self-confidence. It was eroding at my self-esteem. So then I decided, right, that's it. And I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. I just had to do it. But after about 2 weeks, whatever was going on with me just lifted. My opinion is that I probably was a bit too ambitious coming back from climbing a mountain. Probably should have given myself a week or so to get over it, but that's me. That's a trait I have. Over ambitious. Hopefully that resonates and that you understand that it's keeping those promises that you make to yourself. It is beyond important. It's interesting to me how I meet a lot of clients and people, and they'll keep their promises to other people, but they won't keep them to themselves, which is directly telling you that you're not as important as others. Isn't that interesting? The next one is act in alignment with your values. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I respect? Then be that person. And then you might say, well, Johnny, what that? I'm not that person, blah, blah, blah. Look, live with integrity. I think that can be applied to anybody. I don't think anyone's going to say, I want to be a really unintegral person. I want to be an arse up. I don't think anyone's going to say that. Right? So live with integrity. If you value honesty, be honest. Be honest. Don't have that feeling of hypocrisy all the time when you feel like you're lecturing someone else about being honest, knowing that you're not honest yourself, or you've told lies recently or been dishonest in some way. If you value kindness, lead with it. Even when no one's watching, don't do it for a performance. Do it because that's the kind of person you want to be. That's who you are. There was a time a little while back where I was telling my brother about some of the values that I wanted to incorporate into my life. And I said, this is the kind of person I want to be. This is the kind of man I want to be. This is the kind of person I want to show up in the world as. And he started laughing. And I thought he was mugging me off. And I said, what are you laughing at? And he said, Johnny, you've been that person for a really long time. So that made me really proud and really happy. Matter of fact, it gives me goosebumps just now, just hearing that, because it's not that you decide who you're going to be in the future. It's that you do those habits now. You build them. You build that person by the daily actions you take, the daily behaviors that you take, the things you do, the things you don't do. It builds the person you are until one day you don't even realize it, but you've become that person. And that's how you build confidence in yourself. If you see values like integrity and honesty in others and you admire it and you value it, do it for you too. You can be like that. It's not like you're copying somebody else. It's just that you're recognizing a value within them, a trait within them, something that you admire. And even when you feel that admiration for something, it means that you want it. So go for it. Be kind, be integral, be whatever it is that you see in somebody else that you value. Be that for yourself, because that's who you are, or at least that's who you're practicing to become until one day when you practice something, you become really good at it. When you become good at it, that's who you are. You've embodied it. It's become who you are. Because the result of that will be you respect yourself because your actions match your ideals. Everything is congruent. Everything is genuine. Everything is in alignment. You're not there feeling like a hypocrite. You're there knowing that that's the kind of person that you are. That makes a massive difference. Then I think it's about, and this is a tough one, if you are going to change, if you're going to take yourself from the person you are now to the person you want to become in the future, it's most likely not going to be that comfortable. In fact, it's going to be uncomfortable. And I want you to know something. That's perfectly normal. That's typical. That's exactly how it is to change. You see, we have to embrace those discomforts and we have to follow through anyway. Confidence isn't the absence of fear. It's evidence that you've acted despite feeling that fear. We are embracing that discomfort. We're knowing that. Just like when we go to the gym and we do a little workout and we step out of our comfort zone a little bit and then the next day we ache a little bit. That's what this is. That discomfort is that aching from stepping out of our comfort zone. So show up for those workouts. Show up for those conversations, those projects, even when it's inconvenient. Do it anyway. Because at that point, you can say to yourself that I'm the kind of person who does hard things. Because doing hard things forces your body and your mind to work together. And it creates this sense of confidence that allows you to have faith in yourself, to rely on yourself, to know that you're the person that you want to become. And that's super important. I suppose if I was to reiterate, I would say the important things are that confidence isn't gifted to you. It's not something that just one day you wake up and you go, wow, I feel really confident. You have to earn it. It's earned by you for you. And it means that you're going to go through hard things. And those hard things create an experience that marries with a part of you that makes you remember things. You go along and you learn something and you read about it, or maybe you watch a video on it. But it's not until you really do it and that experience is created, that hardship, that suffering perhaps, that embarrassment, that real challenge that comes with doing things that are uncomfortable. It's not until you experience those moments does it really stick, and do you really start to see, okay, well, the worst that can happen has happened and I'm okay. And actually, I'm getting a bit better at it and I'm becoming more confident. I'm going to encourage you now to do an audit on yourself, on your daily actions, and ask yourself one question. Would you respect you? Would you respect you? From the moment you wake up to when you go to sleep, what actions are you taking? Now, it's not about being perfect. It's about asking yourself, did you live up to your values today? Did you shy away from hard things? Did you ignore something when your gut was telling you to pay attention to it? What did you do today? Would you respect you? It's an important question because that's what self-confidence is. It's your reputation with yourself. What's your reputation with yourself? Do you respect you? Do you want to get up and do the things for you because you respect the person that you are and the person that you're becoming every single day? This is an important question because if the answer is yes, keep doing it. If the answer is no, what could you change? So here's the challenge. Pick one promise today and keep it. Just do it. Do the thing that you say you're going to do, no matter what it is. Well, no matter what it is, you're going to keep that promise to yourself today. I'm not going to give you any ideas. You know what they are. You know the things that you're not doing. Every weekend, you make a promise for Monday and you break it. And then that becomes your routine and you feel rubbish about yourself because you can't even do that and all of these different things. You see, your identity follows your integrity. Confidence isn't just about actions. It's about who you believe you are. It's not just about actions, it's about who you believe you are. And here's the thing, beliefs are not facts. Beliefs can change, facts can't. So you're going to change that belief about yourself by becoming the person that you want to be, by sticking to your promises every day and doing the things that you say you're going to do when you're going to do them. Not make excuses, which we all do. Every aligned action sends a message to your subconscious. Think about it. Every single time you do something, it sends this little message to your subconscious saying, this is who I am. This is who I am. And it's true. It is who you are. You are what you do often. So the more you do the things you don't want to do, the more you become the person you don't want to be. The more you do the things you don't want to do, the more you become the person you don't want to be. Keeping promises to yourself shapes your identity. You're not just doing the thing, you're becoming the kind of person who does the thing. You're not just doing the thing, you're becoming the kind of person that does the thing. That's an important distinction. It's not just an action, it's part of who you are, it's your identity. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create that person. We're going to become confident as that person. It's not an act anymore, it's just who you are. Confidence grows when your behavior matches your values. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to have faith in yourself. You begin to be able to rely upon yourself. And it starts with tiny habits every day, repeated over time, creating proof towards this new self-image of this person that you're trying to become that one day you realize you already are. So stop trying to feel confident. Start proving you're trustworthy to yourself. And here's the thing, your identity follows your integrity. Show up for yourself today and you will shape who you are tomorrow. So thank you for listening today. I just want to ask you a little favor. If you get a lot from this podcast, share it with a friend. Encourage a friend, because I'm trying to spread this message here of helping as many people as I can with their self-development. And I believe part of that process is going to be through this podcast. So if you can share on your social media, if you can WhatsApp it to your friends, if you can recommend it to anybody, if you've got any sort of thing out there that's public facing, I don't know, you write a magazine blog, whatever it is, then mention it. Let them know. Let them know that we're over here doing good work. And of course, if you're interested in anything that I do, check out johnnylawrence.co.uk. And The Slavery of Addiction is still up on YouTube. It's going to stay on YouTube. It's still rising all the time. I'm getting some wonderful feedback. Addiction is something that it's not just about the person, it's about the people around them and the way it impacts them. And I just want you to know, that somebody that was deep into alcohol, you can change. You can change. Anyway, I just want to remind you of this. Don't just listen to this podcast. I want you to live it. I want you to put the effort into your life to take yourself from the person you are now to the person you want to become in the future. And I promise you, it is possible. You get to choose your attitude. You get to put in that effort and you get to live your truth and be the person that you've always dreamed of being. Thank you very much. And I will see you next week on another episode of the Johnny Lawrence Podcast.